and let us all do we can to build a better future.
So this weekend, people were losing their minds. People were not thinking critically with their brains. A lot of people were melting down, crying, panicking, screaming from the rooftop. This is the end. Twitter is going to blow up. It's all going away. Less days on Twitter. Oh no, here comes Trump. CBS decides to rage quit. And we're seeing again how unorganized Twitter is, but we're also seeing really how Elon Musk is running it. So where do I stand on this issue with Musk running Twitter and some of the policies he's implemented? There's some good and some bad to take away from this. So first, let's talk about one of the most important issues. Twitter has not blown up yet. It is still around despite everyone in corporate media and all the blue checkmark people telling you to go to Mastodon or follow them on Instagram or follow their YouTube channel, whatever other social media page it is. Twitter is still here. Twitter's not going anywhere. Okay? That's the fact. Twitter's not going anywhere. That blue bird is going to still be crapping in our lives for a very, very long time. So first and foremost, let's go ahead and pull up this tweet right here. And this is the one that's been making a lot of liberals panic and crap their pants. Elon Musk posted this tweet up here. Reinstate former President Donald Trump. With about 15 million plus people voting. Final results 51%, 51.8% for yes, 48.2% for a no. And has he joined Twitter again? No. But his account was reinstated. So yes, Donald Trump has returned. The orange boogeyman has come back. And of course, you're going to have your vote blue no matter who people starting to cry and panic and saying that, oh no, this is the worst thing ever. Trump is back. Well, until Trump decides to tweet out his first tweet, he hasn't done anything yet. He's acting like a spoiled kid, but whatever. So there's this wonderful article now from the New York Times. Yes, the most trustworthy source of news. I studied Trump's Twitter use for 6 years. Prepare for the worst. Oh no, what's happening? The situation in Twitter has been chaotic. Over the past few weeks, new owner Elon Musk introduced a major product and then paused it. He dismissed hundreds of employees and then asked some of them to return. But nothing Mr. Musk has done and undone is nearly as concerning as his decision to suddenly reinstate former President Donald Trump's account. Oh no, everyone, are you panicking? Do you give a damn? Type 1 if you give a damn and you're crying and panicking. Type 2 if you don't. Like many of Mr. Musk's decisions as the company's chief twit, this one is hard to understand. Mr. Musk had previously said he wouldn't reinstate any accounts until a content moderation council with widely diverse viewpoints, which is sort of like the brunch crowd or a lot of SJWs who are saying, oh, I don't want something on the internet to offend me. Guess what? The whole world is not a liberal arts college. Sometimes people don't care about your feelings or, if something makes you feel sad. If you don't like a comedian's show, don't watch that comedian show. If there's something on Netflix or Amazon or Hulu or HBO that you don't want to watch, well, if you don't have the 2 brain cells decide to switch the channel or turn off said programming, no one can help you. And again, just going to highlight there, widely diverse viewpoints. This is sort of like the liberal agenda of, hey, everyone's got to be in the certain box with a certain check mark over their name tag, and so then everyone has their viewpoints, and then they have another council to decide how they're feeling. Then they break, go on a 40-minute, maybe 1-hour lunch. Yeah. It's unclear if a council was ever conceived. No, it was not. Mr. Trump's account was reinstated after Mr. Musk conducted an online poll, something he's historically done to get buy-in for something he's already decided to do. So what I find interesting is maybe the moderation council was all of the people voting on whether or not Trump should be reinstated or not. I mean, that could have been the council, the voter. Isn't that something? Democracy at work. I know, controversial statement. I've never seen democracy work. While Mr. Trump has recently said he has no plans to return to Twitter, he's going to come back. He's building up for it. That position seems unlikely to stick given his need for attention, the challenges facing his social media venture, Truth Social, and his recent announcement to run for president. As someone who's been studying Trump's Twitter use since before he was elected president, I believe that his return would mean the heightened spread of both misinformation and disinformation, the proliferation of degrading and dehumanizing discourse, the further mainstreaming of hate speech, and the erosion of democratic norms and institutions. But there's something else. Mr. Trump's return to Twitter could escalate the likelihood of political violence. So for those of you not paying attention, that's already happening. I know. The vote blue, no matter who crowd's probably spitting out their mimosas, but that's the truth. What do I mean? Well, here, take this out. The Hunter Biden laptop story. It was viewed as, again, and we'll be talking about that later in the show, misinformation. A Hunter Biden laptop story was viewed as fake news. Again, we see the fact that there's a lack of election integrity in this country. We see the fact that our politicians are doing insider trading. We see that our politicians not only are doing this insider trading, but are dismissing it and not making it into a big deal. We see that, again, the economy is only working for the top 1%. Americans are being evicted from their homes and apartments. And look, let's face it, if you have nothing left to lose, a lot of Americans are angry and scared, and rightfully so. Now let's talk about the erosion of democratic norms and institutions. That's been going on long before Trump decided to run for president. You could thank the Supreme Court with Citizens United and McCutcheon's decision, where money is speech and corporations are people, and our entire democracy is owned by the oligarchs. That's a fact. You got lobby groups, you got big banks, you got corporations. Things have been going downhill long before Trump became a name in every single American household. So in other words, Mr. Trump's return to Twitter, yeah, it's a big news. I'm not going to dismiss that. However, all this stuff in this one paragraph right here, and I can't go any further into this because, again, it's just, oh, no, panic. Oh, no, be afraid. Trump's coming back. Trump's going to be here, and everything's going to go down under. It's done. It's the end of democracy. Actually, I'm going to read this last paragraph right here. Twitter and Mr. Trump represent a dangerous fusion of form and content. Social media generally, and Twitter specifically, lend themselves to simple, urgent, unreflective, and emotionally charged communication. When the message is one of intolerance and violence, the result is all but certain. So in other words, same things. We see liberals, vote blue no matter who crowd, do this too. Now, look, maybe I'm being too harsh on the Democrats and their vote blue no matter who crowd, but we see them act the same way too. Both parties, both political parties, have been wrongly abusing the American people and have convinced voters that somehow the politicians in Washington, D.C. care about them. That's not true at all. So I want to pull up this video here where, again, you have people panicking, people crying, people saddened that Trump's back in the media. I want to play this short video. Shout out to Matt Orfala. If you're not following him, he's doing some great work. I'll play this video in its full entirety for all of you.
Danielle, your thoughts on the Trump reinstated back to Twitter with Elon Musk? Joking aside, how do you see this? I mean, you can joke if you want. I'm just saying, I'm giving it to you however you want to take it.
And I will give it back straight, which is that I'm absolutely disgusted. But what else do we expect from very white, privileged, cis, hetero men protecting each other? Because
what's up with the identity politics? See, here's the thing. There's going to come a point, and if we haven't reached it already, identity politics doesn't mean jack. Okay, you're using labels. Well, Trump and his crowd do the same thing too, okay? So we see both the vote blue no matter who crowd and the diehard Republican voters who vote for Trump use these same labels too. I don't know where it came to the point where we have to put ourselves in these little boxes, but I'm tired of hearing these labels. It just doesn't add anything to the political discourse. It tells me I really can't have a conversation with you. And look, you see Republican pundits, conservative pundits using their own little talking points as well. It's madness. I'll rewind that for all of you to hear again, because again, to my point, with Trump coming back, you have so many liberals panicking, to which I have to say to these liberals who are panicking about Trump coming back, never forget he used to be a Democrat. He used to donate to Democratic politicians. So these Democratic politicians, Clinton, oh, I'm sorry, was that too close to home? Knew what kind of person Trump was, but yet they gladly took his money. Never forget Trump's first statement during the Republican primary debate. I give these people money. They do what I say. He told the American people the system's being rigged against us. Why? Because he's used it. I mean, it's the truth. Harsh and disturbing, but you have to live with it. So to the vote blue no matter who crowd, all these liberals panicking that Trump's now back on Twitter, why is your panic my concern? In fact, hey, audience, let's have democracy in the chat. Type 3 if you are going to stand in solidarity with all the vote blue no matter who crowd, people crying and screaming, saying, oh no, Trump's back. Type 4 if their panic isn't your concern, because you got bigger issues and bigger concerns to worry about.
Disgusted, but what else do we expect from very white, privileged, cis, hetero men protecting each other, because we always mistake wealth and inheritance for genius. So yay, Elon Musk gets what he wants, his buddy back on the air, in order to finish burning down democracy while he finishes burning down the town square.
Danielle.
So let's talk about Twitter and its policies right now, because also there was a recent thing that caught my attention too on Twitter where, again, obviously, Trump is picking who he's going to be reinstating. There's some accounts that are being put back up. But this is an interesting turn on how speech is going to be controlled, especially on social media, especially with Twitter. And we have to remember that the previous Twitter administration, all those people in charge, well, there's a lot of skeletons in their closet too. And a lot of them chose, well, to not do anything, to not really challenge the system. So I want to pull this up here. And I think it's important. And I have to be very careful how I word this. So audience, you can find this link in the show notes and description box below. But I will have to be very careful how I word this, because the YouTube censorship is extremely real. So here's Eliza. She's a strong activist, human trafficking survivor advocate. And she has been on point. And she's been challenging the previous administrators at Twitter about this. I get it. Some of the ex-Twitter employees are mad at me. That's fine. I have to be careful how I word this next sentence. The fact of the matter is that Twitter knew about abusive material for 10 plus years for those who are underage. Sued by 2 minor survivors, ignored countless victims globally. You failed, young people, not me. You. Twitter is failing to police, again, this illegal activity. Obviously, all of you can see it on your screen. And this is an article from The Guardian. It's an opinion piece, but it's a fact. Twitter has a long set history of, especially before Elon Musk got into power, and I'm not going to make Elon Musk into a saint because he's not, but there are some major problems with the people who were running Twitter beforehand. Extreme problems. Problems such as this. And again, look, she's correct. I also want to pull up another tweet here too, because again, it does call into question the future of free speech. Now, I believe in free speech, and that means, again, people that you may not agree with, but if you want to defeat these jagoffs who use hate speech or extreme conspiracy theories or just straight up out there, you're going to have to debate them. They do exist in this world, whether you like it or not. There are 8 billion humans on this planet. Life is not a liberal arts college, okay? The real world is harsh and brutal and will not give a damn about you when you pass away. That's how it is. But we can at least make the world a better place. But we can't be censoring ideas or speech. I want to pull up this tweet here from Shoot on Head. Elon, and again, I have to be careful how I say his name, because again, YouTube and the censorship is extremely real. Elon Musk confirms he won't reinstate AJ. However you feel about AJ aside, I am wrong here. I like, not that there was much doubt before, but Elon just completely showed his ass. And again, here's Elon Musk showing, my firstborn child died in my arms. I felt his last heartbeat. I have no mercy for anyone who used the deaths of children for gain, politics, or fame. And look, here's again a response from her. Your story is heartbreaking, but this is literally just confirmation that you're making the rules based on how you personally feel about things. No mercy for, okay, Mr. Merciful Billionaire God, can you just run a website like there are war criminals on here? Because there are war criminals on Twitter. There are bad people. So, is Elon Musk doing some good things? It's debatable. It's debatable. But should our social media platforms be run by people who have absolute power, and one wrong statement, one wrong idea, one wrong ideology or movement? Are we Thanos out of existence? And the thing is, the media is nowhere to be seen. The media is acting like a child itself in its own right. Take, for example, CBS, of all places. They decided to rage quit Twitter like a spoiled kid. This actually happened. CBS News PR, after pausing for much of the weekend to assess the security concerns, CBS News and stations is resuming its activity on Twitter as we continue to monitor the situation. If you were a credible news agency, CBS, you would actually not let your emotions run your feelings. But remember, the former head of CBS, when Trump was running for president, did say this: what Trump is saying is bad for America, but good for CBS. Because let's face it, Trump helped CBS, ABC, MSNBC, and CNN with their ratings. They kept on focusing on him the whole time, even giving free press airtime to his empty podium. But hey, we all can at least have a laugh here. At least we all can laugh as these sycophants are all killing each other or doing their little social media drama. Our love will never die. Elon Musk. CBS News, why can't I quit you? So what's the final note we can take from this? Well, in a recent article here from Yahoo News, CBS News has returned to Twitter after pausing its activity on the platform for just over a day, the network announced on Sunday. After pausing for much of the weekend to assess the security concerns, CBS News stations is resuming its activity on Twitter as we continue to monitor the situation, the network's public relations account tweeted out. On Friday evening, national correspondent John Viglari announced on air that the network would step away from the social media platform out of an abundance of caution. Why? What? Are they being ratioed on Twitter? This is the corporate media outlets that are given the preference by the algorithm. These are the corporate media outlets that you would think would be more than happy to be covering this story, but at the same time, too, challenging those in power. So as a final note for this, what can we take away from all the drama on social media? It's going to be the same. We've seen this before. Maybe not at this large scale. It will die down and something new will capture our attention because that's how the internet and the world works today. Trump returning back to Twitter. It happened. He's running again for president. That's going to happen. You're going to see him on your TV. It's going to happen. You're going to see all his campaign ads all over social media. Corporate media is going to give him free airtime. Corporate media is going to dismiss progressives. Corporate media is going to ignore that Americans are starving and facing homelessness at a rate that we've never seen before. You have billionaires getting richer and richer, and social media is, again, maybe for this point on Twitter, I can say that there are some good things happening. But again, nothing has truly fundamentally changed. When I was on Nick's show on RBN yesterday and Saturday, if we don't start building movements and organizations and institutions of our own that are not connected to Washington, D.C., the next generation is doomed to repeat our mistakes again and again. We have to be better.